Is Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, it was great seeing you. I saw you yesterday when I was in D.C. We talked about this very issue in detail for a long time, and I thought you had a lot of really insightful observations. Let's talk about it.
Well, sure. Look, I think one of the reasons why the odds of the Democrats taking the House have plummeted is we've spent now 9-10 months with the Democrats embracing one extreme position after another. They learned nothing from the election in 2024. It's like every issue across the sun, they picked every 80-20 issue and decided, let's take the 20 side of it and let's abandon the middle class. Let's abandon ordinary working people. And you look at this shutdown now. The shutdown is driven by two things. It's driven, number one, by their desire for free taxpayer-provided health care for illegals. That is an extreme. That's the 20% side of an 80-20, and they're willing to shut the government down. But number two, what this is really about is Chuck Schumer is facing a political crisis. He almost lost his job earlier this year when the Democrats agreed to keep the government open. And he's looking over his left shoulder at AOC. She is breathing down his neck. The reason we are shut down in day 15 of the Schumer shutdown is Schumer is trying to show the radical left he hates Donald Trump as much as they do. And I'll tell you two things that are infuriating. Number one, we voted today the 9th time to reopen the government. Republicans voted over and over and over again to reopen the government. The Democrats voted no. The government, I believe, will stay shut down at least for another week because, as you mentioned, the No Kings rally is on Saturday. And the Democrats are trying to audition for their radical left. They're afraid that they will be in real trouble with their radicals if they reopen the government. So for every federal employee across the country who didn't get a paycheck today on October 15th, the reason you didn't get a paycheck is because Chuck Schumer and the Democrats want to appeal to the radicals at these No Kings rallies. Now, number two, just about every one of those Democrats, they're getting paychecks. Under the 28th Amendment of the Constitution, members of Congress's compensation cannot change during their term in office. So they're all taking their paycheck. Now, I and many other Republicans have sent a letter to the Secretary of the Senate saying, do not pay me, do not deposit my check into my bank account until this shutdown is over. I'm not going to be paid until every soldier and sailor and airman and Marine is paid, until federal employees are paid. But the Democrats are being complete and utter hypocrites. And this is a political temper tantrum. And it turns out when you throw political temper tantrums, the voters don't like it. And I think that explains the plummeting numbers you put up there.
$1.5 trillion to open the government for a mere 7 weeks, monies for illegal immigrant health care, monies for NPR and PBS, monies for all the other crazy things that I mentioned abroad. That's the hill they want to die on. Look, I guess Schumer's doing it. It's for his entire career, Senator. He has said he's against government shutdowns. We played montage after montage on the show. Okay, now he's going to go against everything he's ever believed in, thinking he's clinging to power, but I would argue that ship has sailed. He's done. He's leader in name only. He's out one way or the other. I think he's looking at the end of his career here.
Now, look, I think you're right. I think he is scared for his political life. And the Democrats today are a party of radical interest groups. Now, I will say one of the most important things President Trump has done recently is he has pledged that he's going to go after Antifa. And what I've been urging is follow the money, cut off the money. And you look at this No Kings rally, and there's considerable evidence that George Soros and his network is behind funding these rallies, which may well be riots all across the country. And Soros is writing the check. And so I've introduced legislation called the Stop Funders Act that would add rioting to the list of predicate offenses for RICO. Why is that? Because it would let the Department of Justice use RICO, racketeering, to prosecute the money that is funding the anti-Semitic protests on campuses, the pro-open border protest in L.A. and other cities, and these No King protests. Anyone that is supporting rioting and violence, it lets you go after the money. And I'll tell you, there are more than 200 left-wing groups behind these No Kings rallies this weekend. They deliberately are blind to what each of the others are doing. That's part of how they avoid accountability. RICO is designed for precisely that sort of criminal enterprise. And so I believe the Senate, we ought to take up and vote on and pass our Stop Funders legislation. And I've urged both Pam Bondi at DOJ and Kash Patel at FBI, follow the money and prosecute those who are writing checks funding acts of violence, political violence or otherwise, across the country.
We appreciate your time, Senator. Also good to see you yesterday. Appreciate you taking time to talk.